Hey YouTube, Mountain View Homestead here. Today I want to talk just a little bit about something that I use on a regular basis when any of my animals, whether they be the sheep or goats, run into some toxic plants. But before I begin, I just want to give a little disclaimer that this video, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a veterinarian. This is just for informational purposes only. And if you have any questions about it, you may want to contact your veterinarian. So got that out of the way. So what I want to share with you is a product that I use. Let's see if I can get it up here. Not going to really show it real well. But essentially it's calcium bentonite clay. Now bentonite clay comes from volcanic ash. And what's nice about bentonite clay is if you get an animal such as I had just a couple of weeks ago, I had some of my young Katahdin sheep that got into some mountain laurels, and I thought I had them all cut down, but up here in the mountains of North Carolina, we have areas where it's covered in mountain laurels, and even though you try and get rid of them all, they do seem to come back sometimes, and the adults know not to eat that particular plant. But the yearlings, the ones I've gotten that were born this year, they went ahead and ate some of it. And so a telltale sign that you have an animal that has gotten into something toxic, you will see in front of their mouth, all around their mouth, you'll have a bunch of green stuff on there that they've basically regurgitated up. Over there with the goats, I've seen where one of our Nubians basically just puked up a bunch of green stuff. It was on her front legs and all over her body. You can also usually tell that one infected with toxins usually is lethargic, usually kind of by itself, and generally not eating and just not feeling good. So what I do, and some people will use the activated charcoal powder, and I used to use that. But the problem with that, and you can use that, there's nothing wrong with using the activated charcoal. However, using the bentonite clay, what it will do is it will bind to those toxins without removing without removing the good stuff that's in the gut of the animal, and therefore I believe it's just more superior to the activated charcoal, because the activated charcoal is going to flush everything out of your system, and then you need to do your best to get the good pre and probiotics back into your gut. I mean, you know, people use it on themselves as well, but not only do I use it on myself from time to time to detox from heavy metals, but I also give it to my animals, and it really does a great job. And like I said a couple weeks ago, I had two baby sheep, some lambs, a ram and a ewe lamb that had gotten into some mountain laurels, and they were in bad shape. And one I gave it to, and the other one I didn't, because I didn't notice it at the time. And 24 hours later, the other one that hadn't been given the bentonite clay was still in rough shape. But the one I gave the bentonite clay to, 12 hours later, was back to normal and eating and everything else. Now, sometimes that can be affected by how much they eat. You know, the more toxic plants that you eat, the more sick you're going to get. These sheep will get very sick, and sometimes they can die from that. I was doing a little bit of research online, and I know this is also effective in other livestock. It's effective in cattle. It's even effective in horses as well. But do your own research. Also, not only with the toxin removal, but the bentonite clay can also, in my opinion, support digestive health by improving the gut function, and it will reduce the absorption of harmful substances. Some people even put it on their feed. There's an issue out there with alpha toxins that sometimes it comes from feed like corn and other grains. And again, this is this detox clay, this bentonite clay, is like a binding agent. So it's a really good thing. I would really highly consider you guys putting that in your little medical toolbox to use. But again, as I said before, this is just for informational purposes only. This is one particular type. It's a living clay, but there's others that are out there that are just as good as this. I'll put links in the description below. And hopefully this was educational for you. Hopefully you got something out of it. But certainly, in my opinion, bentonite clay, I think, is even more superior to the activated charcoal powder. Now, one quick thing I'll say about that is the activated charcoal powder may work faster than the bentonite clay, but the bentonite clay is generally a safer product for your animal, and it's not going to rob all the other nutrients and the good bacteria in the gut that the activated charcoal would. Do I say don't stop? Do I say stop using the activated charcoal? No, use that activated charcoal if you think it's going to help. But I would also just encourage you to consider getting some of this bentonite clay powder. It's good stuff. I've had good results with it. I'm sure it would even work on other animals like rabbits and probably even chickens as an oral drench. So let me explain something with that, because I know I'm rambling on a little bit. Sorry about that. But what I did for my lambs that were definitely under 100 pounds is I gave them half a teaspoon of this bentonite clay powder. Okay, I stirred it up real well for 30 cc's oral drench, and I gave it to them. And I gave it to them at the beginning of the day, and then I wanted to check on them throughout the day. And I thought if their condition didn't improve by the end of the day, that I would give them another dose of it. But that's all it took. 30 cc syringe, half a teaspoon, stirred up real well, and giving it to them orally, oral drench. Make sure you got plenty of water out there, because as they flush out those toxins, they can get a little constipated. It does happen even with human beings when you take it for detox. So hope this was a good educational, informational video. Again, do your research online. I've had very good success with it, and I'll continue to use it. And I'll put links into in the description below for you. Other than that, have a blessed day.